Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for August 2nd, 2014. It is currently 10:30 a.m. and it is rather raw and cool out throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. The heaviest rainfall is currently focused over Long Island and Connecticut, with some drizzle and overcast skies over the rest of the region. Temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, a few lower 70s as well mixed in, especially as you head towards southeastern Pennsylvania. It's pretty cool for this time of year at this time of day at 10:30. You expect temperatures to at least be in the mid to upper 70s at this point. Well, that's pretty much going to be our highs for today. Mid to upper 70s throughout the entire region with overcast skies, drizzle, a few scattered showers. We're going to hold off on the steady rainfall after this first batch exits until late tonight, and I'm going to show you where that batch is developing. And we're going to have winds basically throughout the day from the east and northeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. On the latest surface map, you can see that stationary front hanging right off the east coast. We have a wave of low pressure just to the south and east of Cape May, New Jersey. And that area of low pressure will slowly inch towards the New England coastal waters for today. Meanwhile, high pressure is locked in just to the west of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Again, if this was winter, it'd be a pretty impressive snowstorm for the immediate coastal areas, but of course this is summer. But it's just an interesting pattern to see this time of year developing already, with the stationary boundary, another wave of low pressure starting to get its act together over the southeast. Now on the water vapor satellite picture, I overlaid the surface map, the surface observations, cold front, low pressure system, so on and so forth, and the upper level winds. And the reason why I did that is I want to show you the dynamics of what's happening in the upper levels and down to the surface. So what we have in the upper levels is a nice little upper level low or trough starting to dig into the Ohio River Valley, and the winds are backing as a result. And what you're seeing here is what's called divergence and diffluence. What that basically means is that the winds are moving faster in the upper levels, so that means that mass in the upper levels of the atmosphere are getting kicked out towards, let's say, Canada. Therefore, you got all this building up of mass, the air mass, at the upper levels, and that leads to sinking air and thus a stronger high pressure system. But with the winds moving so fast in this area, called a jet streak, that means that you have rising motion. And so with rising motion, you get more moisture lifted up into the atmosphere. And so you can see these clouds starting to back build. In fact, when we zoom in a little bit, you can see that very clearly. See how those clouds start to expand? You can see it's starting to develop down here over the southeast. So what's happening here is that our first wave is moving through. We had heavy rain last night, especially right along the coast, and that's moving through Long Island and Connecticut right now, and should be out of here by about 1 p.m. Then we get a break with overcast skies, drizzly, raw, ugly type weather. Not exactly the best weather to go to the beach or outdoor activities. And then here comes our second wave starting to develop. And this will move through tonight with another batch of moderate to heavy rainfall. And it'll start to blossom probably right around here and then expand and move up and impact the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area tonight with another round of moderate to heavy rainfall. So again, not exactly the best weekend for outdoor activities. Not a complete washout, but certainly not the type of weekend you want to spend at the beach. More like the mall or go to read a book, go to a movie, something of that nature. So here we have the infrared satellite picture. And you can see that expansion very clearly. I like to use the infrared satellite picture to show cloud tops cooling. And when you see cloud tops cooling, that means there's rising air. And rising air, of course, means more lift. So what we have here is the first batch exiting out. You can see that rising air, the lifting and intensification of the cloud cover. Now here we have the second batch. You can see that very clearly. The cloud tops are getting colder, they're expanding, and that all tells me that there's more rising air developing. More rising air means more precipitation, and that of course means heavy rain. On the latest radar, you can see that first batch moving through. Again, Long Island, Connecticut, look for moderate to heavy rain at least until 1 p.m. before everything clears out. And then you gotta have these little scattered showers here and there that will be capable of producing a heavy downpour or two, so don't get caught off guard. And then here comes our second batch down here over the southeast that's starting to get itself organized. The heaviest rainfall again focused along the coast. Same thing for tonight. But again, scattered showers. As you head towards eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, I'm only expecting a half an inch to an inch of rain throughout this entire weekend. So, unless you get into one of those heavy thunderstorms where you got like 4 inches of rain in some locations, most locations will get, not a lot, not anything that's going to create massive flash flooding, but still a bit of a nuisance this weekend. As you head towards the coast, 1 to 2 inches in general is expected. Again, if you get into some of those thunderstorms or elevated thunderstorms and thunder showers, you can easily push well over 2 inches, as we already seen, with rainfall amounts in portions of Monmouth and Middlesex County of over 4 inches in some locations. So you can see we have a tropical downpour type situation here developing, with widespread rainfall for tonight returning to the region. Talking about tropical downpours, let's talk about Bertha. Yeah, it's still a rather disorganized tropical system. It's moving towards Puerto Rico right now. It should clip the southwestern portion of Puerto Rico and exit out towards the Bahamas over the next 24 hours. Bertha has winds of 50 miles per hour. It's moving towards the northwest and it has a pressure about 1,008 millibars. This storm is very disorganized. It will have no impact on the East Coast whatsoever, at least directly, and will recurve out into the Atlantic and will not be an issue for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Will help to enhance high latitude blocking though, so I'm going to keep an eye on that and see how it influences the weather pattern moving forward, especially for the middle and end of next week. That should be interesting to watch. But Bertha overall is not going to have any direct impact on our neck of the woods. Taking a look at the latest model guidance from the Penn State AWOL website using the European model guidance. Again, today, raw, ugly, not the best day for outdoor activities. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. For tomorrow, threat for rainfall again, especially in the morning. Scattered showers in the afternoon. Looking for temperatures in the lower to mid 60s for lows and upper 70s to lower 80s for highs. On Monday, a little bit better, still a threat for scattered showers, but most locations will start to dry out. Temperatures in the lower to mid 60s for lows, lower to mid 80s for highs. Basically, temperatures on Monday will be average, be what you would expect for this time of year. On Tuesday, a little bit warmer. We're going to be ahead of a cold front, so we're going to have a southwesterly wind, and we're going to be pretty dry for the most part. We're only scattered cloud cover, only an isolated shot of a shower. Temperatures as such, we're going to be a little bit warmer, mid to upper 60s for lows. I'm going mid 80s for highs. I know that there's some forecasts out there for upper 80s. I'm not entirely convinced of that forecast just yet for upper 80s. I think most locations will be around 85 to 87 degrees for a high temperature on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, our cold front will approach with scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Temperatures will range from the upper 60s to lower 70s for lows. A bit muggy in the morning, but the threat for some fog. In the afternoon, lower to mid 80s with those showers and thunderstorms moving through. And Thursday and Friday, high pressure will be in control. Crisp, comfortable, cool air mass in place. Temperatures averaging about normal for this time of year, lower to mid 60s for lows, lower to mid 80s for highs. And overall, scattered to clear cloud cover can be expected. Now, I just want to fast forward 7 to 10 days out. Pretty interesting to see what's evolving here. We'll have a trough starting to develop along the East Coast. This is going to be interesting to watch because of what's happening with Bertha. See if this aspect right here is enhanced, which builds up to high latitude blocking, which would force this further south. So it's something to keep this in mind and see exactly how this evolves with any of that latent heat energy lifting up north towards the Canadian Maritimes. And for all the talk about, I know there's some talk about major potential warm up for the middle of the month because of this sitting out here in the Gulf of Alaska. This is not a permanent feature. It's temporary. It's a pattern reload. And we can see that very clearly with another trough redeveloping towards the Aleutians. Helps to build up the heights along the west coast eventually as this deepens. And that forces a trough back into the east. So if anyone is expecting any major warm-ups anytime soon, I don't think so. Not in this pattern and not in what's driving this weather pattern, which all you premium members already know about. So that's your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.